I like that.
About to get this, about to get this, about to get this. Niggas not work, 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 work.
My name Tai Zen stands for tying Zen into people's lives through music. How Zen is a process of gaining knowledge or learning without actually reading a book or something. I want my music to be a learning or growing experience for people, to where when you hear it, you feel inspired, you feel encouraged, you feel like you're gaining something. It's not just me focusing more on the tune and melody too much, but actually making sure that as an artist, I stick to making sure my lyrics are important as well. And I use music as a way of expression for me, which is kind of like therapy in a sense. So it does give me like a Zen feeling when I'm writing and creating. So that's really where it comes from, tying Zen into people's lives through music. Tai Zen.
I am determined to be everything that I can. I am leaving my mark. Here I stand. Plus one coat to lay.
It's definitely something that feels familiar. It may not always sound familiar, but if you've been in love and you listen to one of my love songs, you feel like you've been in love, like in deep love, you know? I don't really know how to express that differently, but maybe if you've never been in love and you hear one of my love songs, you feel like you're in love in that moment. It's something that when you hear it, you can automatically connect and relate to. If it's a party song and it's like something that I'm trying to use to express energy and to turn up and that kind of thing, you're definitely gonna feel that vibe coming through the music as you're listening to it. So if you've never heard it before, when you do hear it, it's gonna be like you've heard it all your life. My very first experience, I don't remember. I've had so many great experiences with music, and growing up as a child, I was always involved with music somehow. My entire family is musical. Both my parents are singers, and they both sing in separate groups, separate choirs, and then also in a choir together. So almost every night of the week, we were either at rehearsal for a show, or we were at a show, or we were at a church service where they were singing. So I was always involved with music. I don't really have like that one experience that I can think back to and say that was the first time that I remember music, because it's just from day one has been a part of my life. I think for me, I'm still in this process of thinking through it as a career, because I think as a career, it's something that you do to make a living. It's something you do to get paid. It's something that you do to make ends meet. You know, it's your way of life in a sense. For me, music is a lot more than that. I have a job, you know, I have my 9 to 5 that I go to every day, but then music is so much more. Music is a way that I can express myself. It's a way that I can connect to people. It's a way that I can help people. I can tell someone's story through my lyrics. Someone who may not be able to express the way they feel or describe what they're feeling, I'm able to, as a writer, express that for them and connect to people's emotions. And then when you talk about it as a career, I mean, there is a monetary benefit that comes from it if you get to that level at some point. And if I ever were to get there, or even be able to elevate myself from where I am, I know that I could use that financial blessing to help my family and to help my community and my world, and just really be a beacon of light for the people that need it. And you know, when you have a career in music or any type of fame or anything, it comes with a lot. But I think one thing that it does do is it puts you before a broader audience. And I'm not saying that my voice is the voice that needs to be heard, but I do think I have a lot to say, and that I would always say it in a positive and meaningful way. It's not about me, like, at all. It's really about what I can do for others and what I can do through me, just as the vessel to carry out the music. The biggest challenge that I've run into is not having enough resources. I've been very fortunate to get resources from time to time, but I've run into a lot of shady people, for lack of better terms, just people that aren't very serious about the art and being an artist. They're more so involved with the money and the glitz and the glam and all of that, but they don't want to put in the hard work that it takes to get to the next level. And they also are they're kind of in this crab in the bucket mentality still. And for me, it's not a competition for one thing. I feel like if I make it, we all make it. You know, I've always had that idea about life in general, not just when it comes to music. But also I feel like if we work together as a team, we can just go so much further than if we're all having our own secret agendas and trying to use each other to get what we want out of life. So that's been the biggest struggle, is just trying to find genuine people who would really like put their heart into a collective goal and work together as a team to get there.
Lord, to whom shall we go?
Oh gosh, top 3? Wow, it's hard. I think in each genre of music, because I listen to everything. I mean, I can be listening to like heavy metal and then be listening to opera. I don't know, like I have such a love and admiration and appreciation for the arts in general. So it's hard to pick just 3 because each artist is so different from one another. If I had to pick like 3 from each genre, I could probably do that, but 3 overall is tough. It's really tough. I lean towards R&B and soul mostly, and in that category, I'm a big Brandy fan. I don't know, I won't get into naming names because then it feels weird to me because they each have something that I like about them. I can always pull something from somebody. Right now I am wrapping up my mixtape. It's entitled I'm Alive. That's the first time that I've actually said the title in front of anybody outside of friends and stuff. But there's a lot of songs on this one with a lot of collaborations, which just makes room for a lot of opportunity to perform at different venues because each song is kind of different. They all flow together perfectly, which is what I love. But I could go to a church and sing some of these songs and then go to a club and sing the same songs and it would be fine. But I do have a few performances locally in Tallahassee. I'm doing My Life. I'm doing Tallahassee Showtime at the Apollo, which is coming up soon, and things of that nature. I don't have a lot of dates planned right now, but you could always go to my website, which is tizenmusic.wix.com/online, or follow me on social media at any of the information that BMPE will provide to you. Or you can hit me up at Tizen_music on all social media platforms and just stay connected. I'm always promoting when I have events coming up. But my main focus right now, eventually will be the performances, but right now it's just getting the studio work done and making sure I have quality music to perform and getting all the behind the scenes stuff like forming a band and all that stuff ready before I start actually performing. So. I've had this question asked to me a lot, and I think my answer changes every time. It just depends on the place I am in life. Right now, I would say real music is music that's real to the listener. There are certain songs that are out on the radio that I'm not a fan of, and I feel like, you know, maybe the artist didn't take it very seriously. I feel like the production team just put out crap, for lack of better terms, and it offends me sometimes because I know there's so many people who work very hard to like produce something that is actually of value and is, you know, their heart and soul into their craft. But I think that when it comes to the audience, that's really where it matters most, because there may be a song where somebody's like, you know, bracelets, and it sounds stupid to me and it doesn't feel like real music. But if the idea was to create an energy or an atmosphere for fun and, you know, for people to just unwind and like have a great time, then maybe something silly and lighthearted like that is real music. I don't think it always has to be something that's serious and something like Tizen. It doesn't always have to be something that people have to connect to on a deeper level. It can just be something that is real for that moment. I mean, we're not always in a serious mood. We're not always able to understand even what the artist was going through when they created the song. But if we can connect to it, that makes it real to me. I think success is different for everybody. I believe it was Albert Einstein, and forgive me if I'm quoting the wrong person, but someone important throughout history said that I have not necessarily failed 1,000 times. I've learned 1,000 ways not to do something. And I think that in itself is success. You know, even to say like, hey, I may not have figured it out like how to get there, but I know how not to get there. And I think if you have a goal and you're working towards that goal, even if you haven't obtained it yet, you're already on the path to success. And I think that makes you a lot more successful in comparison to some other people who just haven't even tried. So yeah, I think that's how I would define success. It's just that attitude of having a billionaire mind and going after what you're trying to achieve. I think that's success. Without music, I would be empty. My way of surviving. Crazy. Because I have to. Music matters. Music changes lives. Music, you know, I know I'm supposed to just fill in the blank, but music is so much powerful and more stronger than people give it credit for. I think you can connect to such a broad range of so many different people with just music, and music is everywhere. It's throughout every part of our life. We wake up in the morning to an alarm clock, which is music in a sense. Our phones ring and we have a ringo or a ringtone, it's music. When we're in the elevator, there's elevator music. We can't shop in Publix without there being music. Music is everywhere, and it's about a feeling. I think music is what feelings sound like. And there's so many different feelings inside of us that we can't describe or explain, but we've got music to kind of do that for us. So support music because it's such a large part of life in itself. I mean, you go to church and the majority of like the church service is music because it just does something to create an atmosphere. That's what music does. It creates atmospheres. It explains atmospheres. It's amazing. I love music. This is Tyson with Billionaire Mind. Do you have one?
That it's my time, won't quit till I get mine. Yesterday is gone away, I'm ready for a brand new day. The pain is in the past, I knew that it wouldn't last. You know all day we